Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Here you'll find everything about the Golden State Warriors with the latest news and game analyses. So, if you're a fan of the team, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. Let's go! The Warriors are looking for a new piece to get back into the title race, and a big name has been circulating behind the scenes, Domantas Sabonis. The Sacramento Kings center has not only established himself as one of the most complete players in the NBA, but could also be the missing piece to make Golden State an even more lethal team. The Bay Area franchise has always stood out for its ball movement and shooting precision, but the dominant presence of a versatile center could take that dynamic to a whole new level. And when it comes to versatility, few players in the league deliver as much as Sabonis. With 3 All-Star Game selections and 2 All-NBA team honors, the Lithuanian has solidified himself as one of the most dominant players today. His ability to score, distribute the ball, and dominate the boards makes him a rare asset in modern basketball. The question is, could the Warriors pull off a trade for him? Sabonis' current season has been nothing short of spectacular. He's achieved historic marks that place him alongside league legends. One of his most impressive feats was becoming only the second player in history to record 20 points, 25 rebounds, and 5 assists in a single game, with shooting accuracy over 90%. Additionally, his performance against the Boston Celtics, scoring 28 points and grabbing 28 rebounds, was a clear reminder of his ability to control the painted area and be a game-changer on the floor. If the Warriors managed to strike a deal to bring him in, Sabonis could be the perfect fit alongside Stephen Curry. His basketball IQ and passing ability would make him an ideal facilitator in Golden State's offense, serving as a bridge between the perimeter and the paint. But would the Sacramento Kings be willing to part with their star? The team has become competitive again, largely due to Sabonis' impact. He was crucial in leading the team back to the playoffs after a 16-year drought, and his presence has been one of the main factors behind the franchise's recent success. However, in the NBA, no piece is untouchable. It all depends on the right offer. And if Golden State can put together a package of players and draft picks that's appealing enough, Sacramento might consider trading Sabonis to continue its evolution with a more balanced roster. From a tactical standpoint, Sabonis' fit with the Warriors would be fascinating. He's not just a player who dominates the paint, he's also an exceptional passer for a center. His presence would add a new dimension to Golden State's offense, allowing Curry and the other shooters even more freedom to space the floor and exploit the opportunities created by a player who commands so much attention from the opposing defense. In addition to the offensive impact, Sabonis would also help address one of the Warriors' most persistent problems in recent years: inconsistent rebounding. While he's not a traditional rim protector, his positioning and intensity in the paint would provide the team with a more reliable presence in the battle for rebounds, reducing their reliance on smaller players to secure second-chance opportunities. And of course, there's the matter of locker room chemistry. Sabonis is known for his calm demeanor and focus on the court. He's not a player who seeks the spotlight, but someone who works hard and lets his performance do the talking. This type of mentality fits perfectly with the Warriors' culture, which has always valued intelligent and committed players. The arrival of a dominant center like Jakob Poeltl would address one of the biggest weaknesses of the Warriors in recent years: the battle for rebounds and defensive presence in the paint. However, the main issue is not just the immediate impact he would have on the team, but how this potential trade would fit into the Golden State philosophy. After all, the Warriors built their recent success with a system based on floor spacing, ball movement, and versatility. If Poeltl were indeed acquired, Steve Kerr would need to find ways to utilize him without compromising the team's identity. While he is an excellent rim protector and rebounder, he doesn't have the same shooting range as Draymond Green or Kevon Looney, which could limit offensive spacing. On the other hand, he could play a role similar to Andrew Bogut in the Warriors dynasty, being a facilitator in the paint and helping to anchor the defense. Another factor to consider is how this move would affect team chemistry. Moses Moody has shown development and considerable potential to be an important piece in the franchise's future. Losing a young talent that is still on the rise could be a risky decision, especially considering Poeltl is already established but doesn't have as much room for growth in his game. Additionally, a lesser discussed aspect is the contractual issue. Jakob Poeltl has a mid-term contract, which means that any trade for him would have implications for the Warriors' salary cap. With the NBA implementing stricter luxury tax rules, the front office would need to evaluate whether it's worth committing significant financial resources to acquire a traditional center. Still, the need for a player with Poeltl's profile cannot be ignored. When the Warriors face teams with dominant centers like Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets or Anthony Davis of the Los Angeles Lakers, the lack of a big man in the paint becomes an evident problem. With Poeltl, the Warriors would have a more efficient response to this type of opponent without having to overload Draymond Green or Kevin Looney in unfavorable matchups. At the same time, if the Warriors chose not to invest in Poeltl and continued seeking internal solutions, the responsibility would fall on players like Trayce Jackson-Davis. The rookie has shown flashes of defensive talent, but he is still far from being a reliable rim protector at the playoff level. Betting on Jackson-Davis's development would be a cheaper and more sustainable route, but with risks, as the adjustment period for young players can be unpredictable. Regardless of the decision, what is clear is that the Warriors are at a crucial point in the season. With the arrival of Jimmy Butler and the return of Jonathan Kuminga, the team has already undergone significant changes. The front office must decide whether it's worth continuing to bet on the current formation or whether a trade for Poeltl or another available center in the market could be the necessary differentiator to elevate the team to a new level. And speaking of Kuminga, his return represents an interesting turning point for the Warriors. His athletic explosion, defensive versatility, and ability to score in the paint add a new layer to the team's offense. Before the injury, he was playing the best basketball of his career, and now the question is how he will fit alongside Butler and Curry. Coach Steve Kerr has already made it clear that he plans to reintegrate him gradually without rushing. This makes sense, as the team has found a winning formula in recent games. But as the season progresses and the playoffs approach, Kuminga could become a key player, especially against teams with physical and versatile wings. With Kuminga returning, Butler solidifying himself as a star, and the possible addition of a center, the Warriors have the chance to shape a roster that could make noise in the postseason. The challenge now is to find the balance between experience and youth, defense and offense, continuity and strategic changes. What remains to be seen is whether the front office will make a bold bet or trust the current core to try to bring Golden State back to the top of the NBA. One thing is certain, the next few months will be decisive in determining the future of the franchise. With the future of the Warriors at stake, every decision made by the front office could be crucial for the team's fate this season and in the years to come. The pursuit of a dominant center like Jakob Poeltl raises a key question. Should the Warriors prioritize the short term, trying to maximize the chances of an immediate title, or maintain patience and develop young talent to sustain the franchise in the long run? The team's recent history shows that the front office has wavered between these two approaches. The arrival of Jimmy Butler, for example, represents an aggressive bet on pursuing another title while Stephen Curry is still at his peak. However, the retention of players like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody indicates that the Warriors still see value in internal development. If the Warriors do indeed make a trade for Poeltl, the impact on the roster won't be limited to just the statistics. The tactical adaptation will be a challenge for Steve Kerr, who will need to fit a more traditional center into a system that has historically been based on speed and spacing. This could require adjustments to the rotation, perhaps reducing the minutes of smaller players or changing the way the team initiates its offense. Moreover, we cannot ignore the emotional impact of a potential trade. The Warriors' roster has always been known for its chemistry and unity, and any move that involves the departure of a promising young player could affect the team's morale. If the trade involves Moody, for example, players like Draymond Green and Stephen Curry, who have always valued continuity and team identity, might feel the weight of the decision. On the other hand, betting on the development of Trayce Jackson-Davis as an internal solution for the front court also carries risks. The rookie has shown flashes of defensive talent and energy on the boards, but there is no guarantee that he will be ready to face the league's top centers in the playoffs. What if the lack of presence in the paint ends up being costly against opponents like Denver or Minnesota? This uncertainty underscores the complexity of the front office's decision. The balance between maintaining the team's identity and making strategic adjustments will be crucial for the Warriors to compete at the highest level. If the trade happens, we can expect some important changes in how Kerr distributes minutes. Poeltl would likely take on a starting role in most games, pushing Kevon Looney into a more secondary role, similar to what happened when DeMarcus Cousins joined the team in 2019. This would also allow Draymond Green to play more minutes at the 4 position, preventing excessive wear and tear from playing center in physical matchups. Additionally, Poeltl's presence could open new possibilities for the second unit. Players like Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski could benefit from the defensive stability a solid center provides, allowing them to take on a more aggressive role on offense. Kerr has already shown his ability to adjust the team to the pieces he has, and a player like Poeltl would bring new dynamics to be explored. In this case, the Warriors would need to find internal solutions to cover their front court deficiencies. Jackson-Davis's development would become even more crucial, and the team could look for smaller reinforcements through the buyout market, bringing in an experienced veteran to add depth to the roster. Regardless of the path the front office chooses, one thing is certain: the Warriors are at a crossroads. The decision to pursue a center via trade or rely on the current core could determine not only the direction of this season, but also the future of the franchise in the years to come. Another important issue to consider is the financial impact of a potential trade for Jakob Poeltl. The Warriors are already among the teams with the highest payrolls in the NBA, and any move would need to take into account the penalties of the new CBA, NBA Collective Bargaining Agreement. The team is already feeling the effects of the new rules, which make financial flexibility for signings and trades even more difficult. If the management opts to bring in Poeltl, the decision would also mean a long-term financial commitment, as he has a contract valid until 2026. This could hinder future moves, especially if the Warriors want to pursue more reinforcements in the offseason. Furthermore, if the team does not achieve the expected results with this change, the franchise could find itself stuck with an expensive roster and few options to renew it in the coming years. All this discussion revolves around one central issue. Stephen Curry is still playing at a high level, but time doesn't stop. At 36 years old, the greatest player in franchise history remains one of the best in the NBA, but he needs a team that can help him compete at the highest level. Curry himself has shown patience with the development process of the young players, but he also knows that the title window won't stay open forever. Betting on the young core might be a viable long-term plan, but what really matters now is whether the Warriors can still be an elite team with the pieces they have. If the trade for Poeltl is finalized and the team improves significantly in defense and rebounding, the gamble will have been worth it. But if the move does not bring immediate results, management could find itself under pressure to seek other alternatives or even reconsider its strategy for the future. Considering the potential playoff matchups, it becomes clear why the Warriors are analyzing the need for a more dominant center. Teams like the Denver Nuggets and Minnesota Timberwolves have extremely physical front courts, led by Nikola Jokic and Rudy Gobert. Facing them in a 7-game series without a more imposing presence in the paint could be a problem for Golden State. Additionally, even other teams from the West, like the Oklahoma City Thunder and Sacramento Kings, have been playing a physical and athletic style, which could expose the Warriors' weaknesses even more. Jakob Poeltl could be the answer to balance this matchup, providing more paint protection and giving the team more defensive versatility. Given all these issues, it is clear that the Warriors are at a crucial decision-making moment. The trade for Jakob Poeltl could be an important step to strengthen the team immediately, but it also involves financial and tactical risks. If the team opts to trust the development of Trayce Jackson-Davis and internal solutions, It might face difficulties against more physical opponents, but at the same time, it would preserve its financial flexibility and the development of young talent. The NBA landscape is constantly changing, and recent rumors suggest that the Golden State Warriors might be about to make a surprising move in the market. The name circulating behind the scenes is that of Kai Sotto, the talented Filipino center who has been gaining attention for his versatile game and enormous potential. If this move actually happens, it could mean not only a technical boost for the Warriors, but also a massive cultural impact for the franchise and for the NBA as a whole. The potential arrival of Kai Sotto to the Golden State Warriors carries a special weight. The team is known for its ability to develop talent and its modern game philosophy based on ball movement and floor spacing. Kai, with his impressive height of 7.2 and a skill set that goes beyond the conventional for centers, could fit perfectly into this system. But what really stands out is not just the technical aspect, but the story this signing could tell. Kai Sotto is more than just a promising young talent. He represents an entire country passionate about basketball. The Philippines is known for its intense basketball culture, and Kai's rise to the global stage symbolizes the dream of many young athletes from the country. His journey is marked by challenges and achievements, from his early departure from the Philippines in search of international opportunities to his performance in competitive leagues like Australia's NBL and Japan's B-League. Kai Sotto's journey through professional basketball hasn't been simple. He had to give up the comfort of home to seek growth in foreign leagues, facing physical and tactical challenges that helped shape him as a player. In Australia, he proved that he could compete against high-level athletes, showing defensive potential and good game awareness. In Japan, he further refined his skills, developing a reliable mid-range shot and proving he could be more than just a traditional rim protector. The question many Warriors fans are asking is, how would Kai Sotto fit into the team? The Warriors have a recent history of struggling to find a dominant presence in the paint. With a playing style focused on shooting and fast transitions, the team often lacks a center who can provide both rim protection and offensive impact near the basket. Kai Sotto could be exactly the missing piece. His defensive game is one of the main attractions. With an impressive wingspan, he has the ability to block shots and contest finishes in the paint, something essential for any team looking for defensive solidity. Additionally, his presence on the boards could help the Warriors improve one of their weak points, securing second-chance opportunities on offense and limiting opponents to just one possession per play. But Kai Sotto is not just a defensive player. Unlike many traditional centers, he has an interesting mobility for someone his size. His ability to move well without the ball and finish near the basket could add a new element to the Warriors' offense. And more than that, his mid-range shooting ability could create more spacing, allowing the team's stars more freedom to attack. Beyond the on-court impact, Kai Sotto's potential arrival at the Golden State Warriors would have enormous relevance off it. The NBA has been increasingly investing in its global expansion, and signing a standout Filipino player would be a strategic step to gain even more fans in Asia. The Bay Area, home to the Warriors, has one of the largest Filipino communities in the United States, which would make the connection between the team and this fan base even stronger. The rise of international players in the NBA is a growing trend. In recent years, we've seen athletes from different parts of the world becoming stars in the league. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, and Luka Doncic are just a few examples of how basketball has truly become global. Kai Sotto could be the next to follow this path, and the Warriors have the perfect environment to help him develop his full potential. If this move actually happens, it won't just be about basketball. It will be a story of representation, of a young man carrying the hopes of an entire country and potentially opening doors for future generations of Filipino players. The impact of his presence on the Warriors would go far beyond the court, influencing fans, sponsors, and even the way the NBA expands into new markets. Kai Sotto's arrival to the Warriors could also represent a shift in how the team builds its roster for the future. With an experienced and consolidated core, the franchise needs to think about renewal and how to maintain its success in the years to come. Betting on a young talent like Kai could be a strategic move for both the present and the future. Now, it remains to be seen whether the Warriors will actually make this signing happen. Speculation indicates there is interest, but there are still many factors to consider. Is the team willing to take a chance on a young talent who still needs to prove himself in the NBA? And is Sotto ready to make that leap and face the challenges of the world's most competitive league? What's certain is that if this signing happens, it will be a landmark moment for the NBA and for Filipino basketball. Sotto has the opportunity to make history and show that players from any part of the world can dream big and reach the biggest stages of the sport. And if there's a team that knows how to turn talents into stars, it's the Golden State Warriors. And you, fan, what do you think of this possibility? Do you believe Sotto could be the missing piece for the Warriors? So that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on everything about the Warriors. See you next time.